Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the show. I'm Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn 3 Racing Network, and tonight we have a good one here. It is race number 8 of the American Sim Racing Club Street Stock Series here tonight at the last great Coliseum. It's Bristol, baby, here for 125 laps. Practice just wrapping on up. It looks like Zach Nichols with the best time. Then it is Anthony Danta, Travis Wright, Ron Hart, and Jimmy Gowker rounding out the top 5. We'll see if that top 5 stays the same here in qualifying coming up right now. Of course, with qualifying taking the best of 2 laps. Then after that, with a short track series, we have a 12-car invert. So whoever qualifies with the pole will start P number 12 here tonight. As we get cars rolling to the Speedway here, the first car to head to the track looks like the 88 machine of Chuck Darling. Darling goes on the clock here tonight at Bristol. Looks like lap number 1 going to be running the high side here, so trying to get that momentum wound on up here. Looks like running the middle lane there through 3 and 4, and the final time around for the 88 machine. And yep, just like I thought in my head there, they will try and go to the bottom side. Wow, Darling inches away from the wall there as he skates it off of turn number 2. Probably will do the same here off of 4. Woo! Once again, very, very close as times come on in. It looks like Chuck Darling able to put it together as 16.47. Right now, Dave Payton with the best time, a 16.16 here. Take a look here at the 8 machine. This is Ryan Hun out here. So Hun making his first, I believe his first ever start here in ASRC. We'll see where the 8 car can slot on in. Right now 13th with a 17.32, and Hun out of sorts and sideways and down pit road the 8 will go. So looks like Hun will keep to that 17.32 here tonight. Now we see Zach Nichols out on the Speedway here. Ron Hart so far with the quick time here tonight, a 16.11 for the 51. Nichols lap number 1, 16.91. I assume ran the wall there. Lap number 1, got this car wound on up here for this second lap. So a lot of drivers putting their eggs in the lap number 2 basket. Greggy Long goes to quick time. Now Zach Nichols will do the same. So Nichols able to walk away here with the fast time at the moment. We'll see if maybe this guy can snatch it on away from him. Jimmy Gowker here in the 2 machine. It looks like Gowker only good enough for P number 6 here. Matt Modulewski out here. Modulewski has ran some previous races. I don't think has ran any this season, as the 913 going to hit the wall across the stripe. So it looks like will not take a time. He will start at the back for the 913. Only 17, about 23 cars, or 24 cars, let's say, have taken a time here tonight. And it looks like Zach Nichols will once again walk away with a quick time award here. And he gets it done here tonight at Bristol. Nichols did win the previous week at Irwindale, so he will have to start shotgun on the field. So instead of 12th, he's going to start about that 24th position here tonight. So we take a look here at some race stats here tonight coming into Bristol. Of course, this is a half-mile racetrack, and it looks like a nice cool night. 68 degrees here in the temperature and only about 70 degrees on the track temperature. So lap time's going to be flying here tonight at Bristol, and it should be interesting to see if the concrete gets hot enough with the amount of cars. If we see some people start searching around the racetrack trying to find that cooler concrete and a little bit more grip. Of course, we got to thank all of our partners with the American Sim Racing Club, that being LaPlante Racing Products, Boardwalk Subs, as well as Postma Flooring. If you want to find out more about American Sim Racing Club, be sure to check them out on Facebook, X, and their Discord. You can check them out on Facebook with American Sim Racing Club. So everyone getting their last minute kind of laps on in here tonight, and then we get ready to send them on to 125 laps. Originally this race was scheduled for 100, but with how well these guys have been racing all season long and with how long it would take, race control decided, hey, you know what, let's add an extra 25 laps to this one. And that's going to make it really tough on tires here tonight. We're going to see pace start off probably really slow for most cars to try and make sure they have their race car at the end. So it's definitely going to be a little bit of cat and mouse as here we go. We get ready to head down trackside to go through tonight's starting lineup. Tonight's starting lineup here for the 125 lapper at Bristol will look like the following. Chuck Darling in the 88 machine will lead the field to the green flag. To his outside will be the 60 machine of Morgan Byard. Caleb Ramsey in the 41 machine will roll off P number 3. Devin McDonald in the 18 will roll off 4th. Starting 5th will be the 86. That is Stephen Hoffman, and Ian Martin in the 098 will start 6th. Starting P number 7 here tonight will be the 2 car of Jimmy Gauker. Then behind him, or I should say to the outside of him, is the 38 car of Dave Payne. Travis Wright in the 902 will start 9th. Ron Hart in the 51 will round out the top 10. Greggy Long in the 21 machine, he will start 11th. And Zach Nichols would have started 12th here tonight, but he gets to start at the back of the field with the shotgun roll. Zane Cruz in the 31 machine will roll off 13th. 14th going to the 9 of Anthony Danta. That's kind of a surprise that Danta missing the invert here tonight. Zach Coyer in the 13 will start 15th, and then Cody Naylor in the 937 rolling off 16th. 17th going to the 8 car of Ryan Hunn. 18th will be Matt Modulewski as he will move up a row. Pete Dillon in the 7 machine will start 19th, and 20th going to the 2 car of John DeMeester. TJ Hassan in the 14 machine will start 21st, and look at this name, Kyle Mackey from Owasso Speedway and Birch Run. He pilots the 018 here tonight. He will roll off 22nd. Dylan Holcomb here will start in P number 23, and I think that will do it. No, it won't. We got one more driver here. It is the 940 machine of Calvin Bosk. So that would do it here tonight. 24 cars taking the green flag. As this time by, we get the 1 to go signal. So next time by, we will turn them on loose for 125 laps for race number 8 of the American Sim Racing Club Street Stock Series. And here we go. We now wait for the iRacing Pace Truck to roll down pit road, and that it does right there. So Chuck Darling instantly on the loud pedal, and we go green flag racing here at Bristol. Darling will get out and away, out in front. Looks like Caleb Ramsey will take over P number 2 from the 60 machine. Morgan able to get down to the bottom side there. So he will fill in P number 3 right behind them. Stephen Hoffman, Devin McDonald side by side is a battle for that 4th position as McDonald had some momentum rolling. McDonald going to be able to clear the 86, maybe not, as here comes Hoffman back. Side by side for that 4th position out here tonight. A new race leader out in front. Caleb Ramsey says, you know what, I'm going to go take over the point of the race here tonight. I'm going to go lead some laps. That's exactly what he is doing. Starting 3rd, quickly out to the front. I have a feeling Chuck Darling, one of those good drivers that can save his equipment to the end of the race. Going to try and do that same song and dance here tonight at Bristol. Darling in P number 3. And further on back, as we get our first caution of the evening, we will have to try and find where this was at. Looks like maybe the 018 machine of Kyle Mackey. Yes, it does. So we will have to see what happened to Mackey here through 3 and 4. As Mackey looking to the inside of John DeMeester into turn number 3. Looks like still all right here at the moment, so. And it looks like everything okay and well, at least at the moment. And there is the issue. Mackey starts to drift on up. Zane Cruz keeping his foot in the throttle, thinking he has a run to the outside. I'm going to go take it, and then Mackey just moves up the track just enough for Cruz to get him in the right rear, and that turns the 018 machine into the outside wall here tonight. So our first caution on right around lap 5 or so here tonight, so things slowed on down, but out in front, Caleb Ramsey here leading the way. And then in P number 2, it is the 60 machine of Morgan Baird. Then Chuck Darling in the 88. Then Devin McDonald, Stephen Hoffman making up your top 5. Biggest mover of the race so far. Looks like Matt Modulewski, he is up 10 positions from where he started. And then the driver that started dead last here tonight, Zach Nichols, he looks like he's up to about 17th or so. As this time by, I think it is the 1 to go signal, so we will see where Caleb Ramsey will choose either inside or outside. Everyone else going to double on up, and we get ready for the first restart of the night here at Bristol. All right, here we go. The field re-racked, restacked, and we get ready to get back to green flag racing. iRacing pace truck here down on pit road. Caleb Ramsey on the loud pedal here, and we head back to green flag racing as it looks like Ramsey will get cleared. Looks like the 60 machine able to slot into P number 2 on the inside lane. Everyone else though 2 by 2 here down the back straightaway. Chuck Darling trying to hang on to that third position here as Dev McDonald continuing to charge forward in the field, but doing it in that second lane. How will that affect the 18's tires here in about 100 laps when it comes to the closing stages? Right behind them, Jimmy Gauker in the 2 machine. Gauker picking up the big LaPlante short track throwdown trophy a few weeks back in the super late models. He would like to make a return to the victory circle here in the street stocks. He sits in a really good spot here tonight, up into 4th here as he's able to get around Dev McDonald. Matt Modulewski out here still carving his way through the field. He is now up into 6th and running down Dev McDonald, so Modulewski definitely one of those guys we got to keep an eye on for his pace. Last time by 16.48. You got to wonder how long it will last as he is pushing this 913 machine pretty dang hard here in the opening stint. As Modulewski here up into the top 5, he will take that 5th spot away from Dev McDonald. A little bit deeper in the field here, some cars shaping up to battle. Stephen Hoffman here falling on back just a little bit, probably saving his stuff. Right behind him, Ron Hart. Then it is Zach Coyer, Ian Martin side by side. As Ian Martin letting that thing sail in lane number 2. A 98 car, another one of those cars on a mission here. As Martin slicing his dicing his way up towards the front. Right in front of them, we see Dylan Holcomb working over Dev McDonald. So Holcomb putting together a pretty good night to at least start the race out here in the 68. He finds himself well inside the top 10, currently running in 6th, maybe trying to get 5th away from the 913. As Modulewski, now one of the slowest cars on the speedway, last time by is 17.35 for the 913. So can we already see the tires starting to affect the 913, or maybe he just wanted that track position, now gonna try and dial way back here for the rest of the race. Ian Martin, we saw in the corner of that shot there, he has driven now up into the top 5, so the 98 machine sits P number 5 here. Some guys we got to keep an eye on here, especially later in the race. That being the 44 of Zach Nichols, then right behind them the 21 of Greggy Long and the 31 of Zane Cruz. All these guys, I think, really saving their stuff, not pushing their tires whatsoever in this first about 25 or so laps. Jimmy Gauker now up into P number 3, and these top 2 have checked out from the rest of the field. About a 3-second advantage for the 41 machine. Man, I would love to see this race go green flag to the end and really see how this plays on out for race pace between this field. As our race leader Caleb Ramsey starts to close in on some lap traffic here, so looks like the first car in jeopardy of going a lap down, that being the 14 machine of TJ Hassan. So we will try and maybe we'll go a little bit wider camera out here, keep an eye on our race leader as they are probably about within 10 car lengths of the start of lap traffic here. And throughout the field, no one really battling for positions. Yeah, some cars are kind of close to each other, but no real battles except for maybe a battle for 12th here. As here we go, we see the leader now within 2 car lengths of some lap traffic here. Ramsey being nice and cautious there, taking his time with these lappers. He knows he has time as he is starting to walk away from the 60 machine. As Ramsey will put now John DeMeester lap down TJ Hassan, able to get around DeMeester. So Hassan sits in the lucky dog spot, but maybe not for long as a 14 machine now heavy into lap traffic. Both lanes blocked here at the moment. Ramsey trying to pass on the low side here, but it is a bottleneck up in front of him, 2 by 2, probably 6 rows deep, all the way kind of behind Ron Hart. As, oh, look at this. Kyle Mackey goes around off the nose of our race leader. So Mackey involved in the first 2 incidents. Both of his kind of off the nose of another car. As we take a look here, see what happened here off of turn number 4. As Caleb Ramsey here tries to show the nose to the 18 machine through the corner, then those two will make contact. Ramsey tries to save the car up on the apron. That shoots him back onto the track, and then contact into the door of the 013. And once again, Kyle Mackey into the front stretch wall here. A tough opening night for Kyle. As we are under our second caution flag of the evening here. Caleb Ramsey out in front, but involved in that incident. We'll keep our ears peeled, see if we hear a claim from the 41 or not. If a racing incident does not have a claim by the end of the caution, then what happens is every single incident gets reviewed by the admin panel here in ASRC and determine if a driver's at fault or if it was a racing incident. So if you don't claim anything, you know, you put your your fate of your race result up to the admins after the race, which could be a good or a bad thing depending on the incident. There we go. We got our Boardwalk Subs caution flag logo up on the tower here. So now looking back to sorts as we are currently under our second Boardwalk Subs caution of the evening. That time contact between the 41 and the 018. As here we go, Caleb Ramsey gonna have the choose here at the start finish line. Probably will take the bottom side, and that looks like it will be the case. So everyone else will double on up and we get ready to go back. And I think we should do a little turn 3, turn it up on the start. Let the cars do the talking right from a restart here. So we're gonna take a break from yapping here and let the cars do the talking here for restart number 2 of the night. Alright, we head back here live here at Bristol to complete lap 40. Caleb Ramsey still out in front, the 60 machine second. Ian Martin, though, he is up to P number 3 in the 98. Dylan Holcomb sits fourth, and now Jimmy Gauker in P number 5 here. Just behind those guys there at the end of the top 5, it looks like Chuck Darling stuck up in lane number 2 here in the 88. So looks like Zach Coyer getting on around now, trying to get around the 913. Same with the 7 machine of Pete Dillon. And here comes the 940 of Calvin as well. Calvin, another big mover here tonight. He is up into the top 10 the first time tonight. He is up 15 positions from where he started. So that Shell 940 machine looking pretty good. Maybe not anymore, as the announcer's curse will strike, as the 940 will get a piece of the outside wall. Looks like Calvin may call tonight here, but we'll take a look at the incident off of turn number 4. And it looks like the 940 just barely not leaving enough room for the 913. That puts him in the outside wall, sends him spinning across the track, and luckily no one there to hit the 940. So it looks like now just about 2 cars calling it a night here tonight. Looks like still 22 cars out on the Speedway. And now this time John DeMeester are going to be the lucky dog. So that will put the whole field back on the lead lap here with about 80 laps left in this one. So some notable guys outside of the top 10. Stephen Hoffman in the 86. He's currently running in 12th. Hoffman has finished in the top 10 every single... Oh, actually, that's the wrong Stephen as I'm looking. The driver that does finish in the top 10 every single time. Another one out of it, at least at the moment. That being our points leader, the 44 machine of Zach Nichols. So Nichols will restart 16th here, but a lot of time still left for that 44 to get through the field, as here we go. Lights are on out, and now we wait for the 41 to fire on off. Gonna wait a little bit longer. Keep the field guessing, as here we go. We head back to green flag racing, as pretty even start from the front row. Ramsey will have the shorter distance down through the corner, so he will hang on to the lead. Contact for second, as wow, that could have been bad there. Ian Martin somehow hanging on to that 98 machine, but whew, that was a close call there in front of the whole entire field. Dylan Holcomb now trying to get to P number 3 here tonight in the 68. Last time by best lap of anyone in the session. Ian Martin just ran the best lap here, so that 98 trying to run down Caleb Ramsey for that race lead. He's within about a car length from the back bumper of the 41. That's right on board with the 41, looking on back. You can hear tonight, especially in these street stocks, very, very throttle off time. I mean, these guys barely lifting around here. You can hear lift it for a split second, get that front end set, and then just try and roll back into that throttle to make sure you get pointed where you want to go, and then pretty much mashing it from there. As Ian Martin has been able to get to the top side of the 41. Side-by-side battle, dead even going into turn number 3 for the race lead. Caleb Ramsey took over the race lead, probably lap number 3, has not looked back since, but now in jeopardy of losing it as those two will lean on each other. Ramsey will hang on to the race lead for at least another couple laps, but Martin not going away anytime soon. Morgan Baird in that 60 machine, he was able to reclaim P number 3, so he's looking for an impressive first ever ASRC start. As Martin will give a shot to the back bumper of the 41 machine. Caleb Ramsey definitely defending that inside lane. Martin will look to the inside. Martin will ship Ramsey as somehow they'll hang on to it. No, they won't. Martin hard into the outside wall. As he was sitting there, Matt Moduleski will come through and clean out the 98. Oh man, that was a big hit there. So we will take a look here, see what brought out our 4th caution flag of the evening. Martin had a big run. We'll shoot to the inside of the 41. The 41 trying to cover that on off and then get sideways, able to kind of save it. Then we'll tag the right rear of the 98 and man, right across the nose of Dylan Holcomb. As Martin, that car definitely killed here tonight. You can see that left front not even turning on that, so Martin's impressive run through that field will come to an end here on about lap 59. And with the leaders getting together here, it looks like the 60 machine gonna take over the race lead. So as we are under our 4th Boardwalk Subs caution of the night, we'll get a quick word from our partners at Turn 3 Racing Network with Premier Setup Shops. All right, so we are back here at Bristol under our 4th Boardwalk Subs caution, but now coming up to our 4th restart of the night as lights are out around the Speedway. And the 60 machine gonna be in control and lead the field to the restart here. iRacing Pace Truck down and off of pit road as here we go. We head back to green flag racing here at Bristol just before the halfway point. Morgan able to get clear, able to hang on to the race lead. Caleb Ramsey currently running in 2nd, Dylan Holcomb 3rd, Jimmy Gauker in 4th, and now look at this, Anthony Danta into the top 5 as Devin McDonald hard into the outside wall. McDonald, no nose cone, that right front broke on that race car, so McDonald will bring that car to pit road. A tough break for the 18 as he was running pretty good here tonight. As here we go, battle for that race lead here. Caleb Ramsey to the inside of the 60. Can he keep his nose down in there? Yes, he can. So side-by-side battle for the race lead down the backstretch at Bristol. Those two almost lean on each other there into turn number one. These guys running inches apart from one another. Morgan giving this 41 machine a ton of space out here tonight, as he will get the wall, and that will give up the race lead. So Caleb Ramsey back to the point here in the 41. Jimmy Gowker here has run up to P number 3 here, so the 2 car back to P number 3. Then we head back to a gaggle of race cars all on top of each other out here tonight. That is Cody Naylor there in the blue machine to the inside of Chuck Darling. 2 number 88 side by side, but it's the 937 and the 88 that are side by side. Currently a battle for the 10th position as well. As right in front of them, Dave Payne and Pete Dillon now go side by side. So Ron Hart starting to make his way back up through the field. Hart up in the 7th. Payne trying to get 8th place away from Pete Dillon. Payne down low in the 38. Dillon up top, hanging strong in the 7th. As it seems like at the moment, there's no clear preferred lane here tonight. It seems like once this inside lane has gotten hot, and I assume that is the case with the amount of cars running this bottom lane, that this top side has a little bit of speed, but you got to wonder how these tires will hang on. Still about 50 laps left in this one. As Payne able to complete the pass now, Dillon under fire from Naylor. Right behind them, the guy that started dead last here tonight, Zach Nichols. He's up into 11th here. Oh, as Pete Dillon, Cody Naylor gets side by side. Naylor sideways, Zach Nichols now sideways. Zane Cruz also around as well. Man, oh man, that will bring out our 5th caution flag of the evening. And that started with Naylor and Pete Dillon getting into each other, then into the outside wall. Then Zane Cruz in the 31 machine into the back of the 44. And then it looks like Cruz will get hit by the 86 of Stephen Hoffman. And then I think Greggy Long may have got a piece of some damage there in the 21 as well. Man, very, very hectic, as we will take a look one more time, full speed at the replay here. As yeah, I think Greggy Long just got some net code there. You saw him clear it, and then all of a sudden that car kind of hooked. So him and Ryan Hunn going to be innocent bystanders with a little bit of damage after that one. Up towards the front though, Jimmy Gowker has driven up to P number 2. So we'll see what the 2 machine has up his sleeve for Caleb Ramsey, who has kind of been so far here tonight the car to beat. As under our 5th Boardwalk Subs caution of the evening. I think the field that time by getting the 2 to go signal. Not sure who is the lucky dog, so we'll see if any car does go on around and make up a lap. Looks like if it was anyone, it would be the 18 of Dem McDonald, but McDonald not on the racetrack, so only 19 cars out here tonight. One of that 19 down on pit road, Zach Nichols down there. Same with the 86 of Stephen Hoffman. So both of those cars involved in that last caution, going to try and get some damage repaired, as this time by we should see the 1 to go signal, and we'll see where the 41 chooses. Looks like once again going to choose the inside lane here as the rest of the field going to stack back on up, and we get ready for the 5th restart. As you know what, let's go high into the grandstands here. Let's get a fan cam restart for restart number 5 on the front row. It's going to be Caleb Ramsey, Jimmy Gauker leading the field to green. As here we go, we are back to green flag racing. Caleb Ramsey able to get a great jump on the field. He'll be by himself with the race lead. Jimmy Gauker slots back into 3rd by himself. The cars we got to keep an eye on here. The 51 of Ron Hart up into the top 5 as he gets around the 68 of Dylan Holcomb. Holcomb starting to look a little bit loose here tonight in the 68. As we ride on board with him, able to get down to that bottom side here. Right behind them, Zach Core, Pete Dillon side by side. We're looking a little bit deeper in the field. 3 wide for a moment. Oh, his contact there. John DeMeester gets sideways off the nose of the 44. Somehow DeMeester able to hang onto that race car. And we stay green flag racing. So that will slow down Zach Nichols a little bit more to catch the cars in front of him. Last time by, fastest car by anyone here tonight. Anthony Danta just threw down a 16.18. So that 9 car still has a lot of life in it. With about 40 to go. He's on the tail tank of the race leaders. Right behind them, Dylan Holcomb and Zach Core still side by side. Them behind them, Chuck Darling trying to make his way back through the field here tonight. Able to get around Dave Payton, at least it looks like here at the moment. Holcomb will grab a piece of the wall. We'll do the same down the backstretch, and Holcomb gonna lose a lot of positions here on lap 85. Holcomb gonna try the crossover move on Darling. We'll throw the car down on the apron. I don't know how he just made that stick on the apron. Usually that is assured destruction of either the car getting loose or just very upset, so that was wild to see. As we fly back up towards the front of the field here, Jimmy Gauker able to now complete the pass on the 60 machine. So Gauker going to try and run down our race leader. And Danta going to try and take over number 3 here tonight. As a little bit further on back, Travis Wright and Zane Cruz do battle for position. That'll be for that 11th position. As now Wright has cracked his way into the top 10 now. As we see the 9 and the 60 machine gonna lean on each other a little bit there down the back straightaway. Gonna do the same on the front straightaway now. So Morgan holding his own up in lane number 2 here. Trying to make every driver work for that position, and Danta definitely trying to wheel that 9 machine on by, but can't quite do it. But that Ron Hart sits right behind them, just waiting for one of them to make a big mistake, and then he can capitalize on that situation. Hart's going to get to the back bumper of the 9 machine. It looks like Danta not going to be able to complete the pass. Here comes now Ron Hart to get the position. A little bit further back here, Dylan Holcomb continues to fall through the field here. You got to wonder if those tires starting to go on the 68 machine, as he has fallen back to 12th and maybe 13th, as now Ryan Hunt starts to put some pressure on the 68. Hun will run the top side of 1 and 2, try and build up some momentum there. As we take a look here to some cars that are battling. Anthony Danta has put his car up in that second lane, and he has found some speed. Danta going to try and get P number 2 away from the 2. Gauker trying to hang on to that position, won't be able to do it. Anthony Danta up into second here tonight. As now he'll try and run down the 41 machine for the race lead. Ron Hart has slid into P number 3 from that outside lane, so Hart inside a podium spot here with now under 30 laps to go as we approach our countdown clock with 25 to go here in just a few laps. So as we can see, as the right fronts are starting to wear on these race cars, starting to work up a little bit more and more here at Bristol, as well as with the tire wear, also going to the cooler concrete further up the track as less cars run it. But now as more cars run the middle, then we might see a flip back down to the bottom side one last time and see who really saved their stuff, if anyone did. Wow, super close racing there between the 951 and the 2 inches apart from each other, as now we see Hart trying to work over Danta for that second position. Deeper in the field here, looks like Cody Naylor may be an issue. He and now Stephen Hoffman battling, I think, for the 17th position. As we keep an eye on the best battle on the Speedway. This is for the runner-up spot. And if there's anything this race leader in the 41 of Ramsey wants to see, it is this out the rearview mirror of these guys side by side using up their stuff. Hart with the advantage on corner exit, but then Danta able to keep that momentum rocking and rolling. Let's ride on board with Danta just to see how close these two are running. Man, these guys running inches apart from each other here tonight at Bristol. Ron Hart trying to sail that 51 in. He does so, able to get clear. Ron Hart up in a second. Hart will block lane number 2. Hart will try and get to the outside of Ramsey for the race lead. It looks like he will. Battle for the race lead here off of turn number 4, and new race leader with 20 to go. Ron Hart has taken over the point. Caleb Ramsey here pinned down to that inside lane. You got to wonder how those tires are feeling in these last 20 laps. We'll see if Ramsey can hang on to a podium spot, as now here comes the 2 machine of Jimmy Gauker. And look at this, Chuck Darling, after leading the field to the green flag, he dropped through the field, taking his time, taking care of those tires. It's paying off for the 88 now as he's charging his way back up into the top 5. Darling to the outside of Gauker. Looks like we'll be able to clear him by the time they get to turn number 1. Right in front of them, Zach Coyer, Caleb Ramsey side by side. Ramsey, another one of those, Coyer, another one of those drivers here driving through the field here. It seems like every time we cut to him here tonight, Coyer sits in a plus 12 positions from where he started here tonight. Danta maybe checking up that outside lane just a little bit here. As Coyer gonna try and capitalize on that, but the high side rocking and rolling. That time by at the stripe, we see now 14 laps to go. Some more drivers making their way into the top 10 here tonight. Zach Nichols, he has driven on up in there. Going to try and keep that streak alive here. He's up into 7th. Greggy Long in 8th. Jimmy Gauker falling back to now maybe 9th here. And then Zane Cruz sits right behind the 21 and 10th. Oh, as caution as, oh man, we ride on board with Zane Cruz there, right with the car, as Zach Coyer, big time damage to the 13 machine. As Zach Coyer, that car definitely killed. It looks like he will probably have to tow that thing back to pit road, as we will take a look here, see what happened to the 13 machine. As, oh man, it looks like the 60 gets into the right rear of the 13 machine. Then he'll come spinning down the track, get a piece of Greggy Long, and then the big hit came from Zane Cruz as we rode on board with him. But somehow Chuck Darling able to four-wheel drift that race car and somehow hang on to it. Let's watch it one more time back at full speed here, as a 60 gets into the right rear of the 13. And man, what a save from Chuck Darling here. With that save, Darling able to hang on to a top 5 position. Looks like on the following restart, Darling will start P number 4. And it should be interesting. Ron Hart, his teammate, has lane choice. Does the 51 choose the outside here with under a 10 to go lap shootout here at Bristol? Yeah, I tell you what, Ken, that was some good driving there from Zach Nichols. Some great wreck avoidance to shoot low from the 13, then miss the sideways 88, as now Zach will restart inside the top 5. Zach Nichols could very well, if all the cards fall right on this following restart, he could walk away with a back-to-back win. As here we go, Ron Hart gonna do exactly that. The 51 gonna choose the outside here with an 8-lap shootout. Anthony Danta gonna be the other car on the front row in the 9. But Ron Hart and the 51 gonna be in control. So our 6th Boardwalk Subs caution flag gonna be extinguished here off of turn number 4. As we wait for the iRace and Pace truck to make its way down pit road, then the 51 can jump on the loud pedal anytime after that. Hart will do so nice and early, and here we go. We head back to green flag racing, and that teamwork working out well, as Darling going to try and get second away from Anthony Danta, going to be able to keep a nose to the outside of the 9. 2x2 throughout most of this field on behind Danta, going to be able to get clear. So Danta will hang on to P number 2, at least at the moment. Contact there, big time contact between the 41 and the 88. Those two will lean on each other. So far though, they will keep it facing in the right direction now with only 6 laps to go here at Bristol. Oh, Zach Nichols will jack up Caleb Ramsey. A big time hit for the 44. Zach Nichols hard against the outside wall, and it looks like a lot of damage there to the 44. Jimmy Gauker, another one with some heavy damage there. Same with the 60 machine of Morgan Byard. As we will take a look here for our 7th caution of the night, and involving, I believe, at first the 41 and the 44. Gonna slow it on down a little bit more than this here, as cars already going on around, so We take a look here at the 44 and the 41. Not a good camera shot there. There you see the 44 maybe getting into the back of the 41 a little bit. Then the 41 across the track into traffic. And then there you see the big time hits for the 60, the 2, and the 44. And it looks like here with that caution coming on out when it did, we are going to have our one attempt at a green-white checkered here tonight. And of course, with a green-white checkered, we are looking at the following scenarios. If we get the green flag and we get a caution before the white, then we finish this race under the caution flag and not race back to the checkered. If the leader does take the white flag, then this race is official. We are racing back to the checkered. Doesn't matter what happens out on track. So that is what we're hoping for here tonight, and we'll see if that will be the case. As I believe this time by the 51 of Ron Hart can choose once again at the stripe. Once again, his teammate Chuck Darling restarting in fourth. And we've seen Hart shading to the top side this whole caution period. It looks like once again the 51 going to choose the outside lane for the final restart of the night here at Bristol. The rest of the field gonna re-rack, restack, and we get ready to turn them on loose. Some notable names inside of the top 10 here tonight. TJ Hassan gonna restart in the 8th position. Then right behind him, Ryan Hunn 9th, and Cody Naylor inside the top 10. So that is very exciting to see as here we go. We wait for the 51 to fire on off. And Ron Hart on it, and here we go. We head back to green flag racing for the final restart at Bristol. Ron Hart down and away. He is at least safe at the moment. Right behind them, Chuck Darling trying to stay to the outside of Danta. Couldn't quite do it last time. Can't quite do it this time. We see the white flag. One more lap to go. As Darling and Ramsey make contact, Travis right sideways. Somehow they will all save it down the backstretch. Holy smokes, how did that happen? John DeMeester will go around, but Ron Hart will pick up the race win. Anthony Danta will finish second. Caleb Ramsey will round out the podium. As we got to take a look here, see what happened on that last lap incident there, as you see the cars all coming back up on the speedway there down the back straightaway. And then it looks like, oh, the 44 just gets a two machine a shot, and then the 44 gonna get turned on around there late here tonight. So a tough race here for our points leader at Bristol. As Ron Hart here celebrating the career win. And looks like a Polish victory lap here from the 51 machine, as he will pull it on down and bring it to the infield maybe? I think maybe going to try and find the podium here, but as he does that, we will go to a quick commercial break. On the other side, we will be talking with our podium finishers. So don't go anywhere, folks. Post-race show coming on up here shortly.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we come back here to the Bristol Motor Speedway, and we'll be talking with our podium finishers here tonight. The first driver we will be talking to is the 41 machine of Caleb Ramsey. Caleb, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
How's it going, Brett?
Man, pretty good. How are you feeling, my man, after 125 laps here at Bristol?
I guess a little mixed emotions on the night. We had a good showing, I guess, but it got kind of rough towards the end. Not really the way I would have liked to finish the night out, but a top three nonetheless.
Yeah, it seemed like, especially that first half of the race, this 41 seemed like the car to beat. And then was the tires maybe falling off a little bit for you, or the handling going away?
Yeah, I think I kind of had a little different game plan than everybody. Starting up front like that, I knew everybody was going to probably save a little bit, so I was just gonna try to push as hard as I could, maybe lap as many cars as I could at the beginning. And plus, second place, he wasn't saving at all, so I figured if I wasn't going to win, maybe I could try to lead the most laps anyway. But yeah, it was working. It was working out there for a little bit. Then we had that restart, and I was like, man, I've kind of already burnt my stuff up, and everybody's right back on me now. So it just kind of, I had really no other option to stick to that same game plan and just kind of go for it. And then towards the end, it cost me. But yeah, I seen Ron coming on the outside, but yeah, he was quick.
Yeah, and I mean, did you have any indication besides Ron Hart to your outside that maybe the top side was working as well as it was, or do you think it was just a difference of that different strategy and trying to save some tires?
Yeah, I think with the line I was running, I got comfortable with it, and then where the tires got kind of wore out, I wasn't really sure about switching up there and with doing something new so late. um, so yeah, I just kind of stuck with it with what I knew the car was going to kind of do, and yeah, that right front it gave me a warning a few times, and he told me to come in, but I didn't have no tires, so I was staying out.
Yeah, for sure, man. Only one set of tires here, so no point in pulling on in. Try and make it to the end, and to the end, you made it, man, and on the podium with it as well. And I'm sure maybe some drivers not too much of a fan after all things said and done. What'd you feel from inside the 41 machine?
Yeah, man, I don't know. The thing with me and Ian, it's just kind of short track, right? We're hard racing, man. I'm not trying to give up the lead, and he's trying to go for it. There's no hard feelings there. Um, the late race deal with me and Zach, man, he just got me sideways coming out, and at that speed, the momentum of the car, there's not really a lot I could do to save it. Um, you know, I'm not really gonna get on here and badmouth anybody. Everybody gets on here to have fun. That's what it is at the end of the day. So we live the race another day.
Yeah, for sure, man. And yeah, that's what I always tell people with sim racing. As soon as it's not fun, I think it's time to hang up the virtual steering wheel, right?
Yeah, that's right, man. That's what we're just all here to have fun. Emotions get high, people do take it serious, as well as I do. So you don't like to come out and work hard and then, get wrecked towards the end of the night. It does suck. So, I hate it for Zach. I know he's running good in points, but like I said, I'm not here to badmouth anybody. We'll race hard, next week and go from there.
Yeah, next week definitely a wild card race. Las Vegas, the 1.5 miler. How you feeling about that place?
Man, it's Vegas. You never know what's gonna happen there.
Yeah, that is definitely the case. And, Caleb, even with your season, putting together a pretty decent season overall. Trying to look up the stats here real quick for you, but it seems like overall a pretty good season. And it seems like these street stocks, man, you have a pretty good knack for them.
Yeah, the last season we ran, I was able to get a top three overall, so I was kind of really looking forward to keeping that momentum rolling. Had a few incidents that last week with Jimmy, getting into those tires, and I was right behind him, nowhere to go, so that kind of sucked on that. And we missed the race the week before, so that kind of put us behind. But maybe with this top three, I'll look at the points afterwards, and with what we got left, maybe we can salvage a top 10 or something.
Yeah, and it's been kind of a tough season for you this season. Is like you said on the podium last season. This is now your first top five, but with your 6 starts before, you're able to finish the top 10 5 times. So you've had consistent finishes, but haven't quite been able to crack it until tonight. So hopefully this gets some good momentum rolling for you from here on out, right?
Yeah, hopefully. Fingers crossed anyway. I wouldn't mind getting back up here and talking to you a time or two again.
Yeah, I always like to say if I'm talking to the broadcaster at the end of the night, it is definitely a good night overall. But Caleb, once again, congrats on the P number three here from Bristol. Before I let you go, my man, and celebrate it, we're gonna go hand over the mic to you one final time here tonight and have you thank who you gotta thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you like to give a shout out to on the broadcast.
Yeah, man, just give a shout out to my teammates at Mud Duck Racing, everybody at Magilla Sea Speed Shop, Spartan Transportation, Sweet Victory Apparel, C High Performance, Justin Brooks Designs for putting this Gravedigger theme wrap on here for me. Shout out to Corey and Danta. We're always hanging out in Discord and chatting throughout the races. Appreciate you for putting this on. I like going back and watching the races and watching the late model races. I don't get the race on those, so I like to watch those anyway. Um, yeah, I think Tanner and everybody, all the admins that put all this on. I know it's hard work, and then you got to put up with us at the same time. So I appreciate everybody and all the hard work that goes into this.
Alrighty, well, awesome stuff. Caleb, we appreciate you coming on out here and being part of the action that we get to enjoy. So, Caleb, you, my man, have yourself a great rest tonight and congrats again on the P number three.
Appreciate it, and tell Ron I said congrats again.
All right, we'll do. So, Caleb, you have yourself a great rest tonight and hopefully we'll be talking to you again.
See you, Brett.
Alrighty, folks, that was our third place finisher, the 41 machine of Caleb Ramsey. Now we'll head to our runner up finisher, that being the 9 car of Anthony Danta. Anthony, do you got a copy? It's Brett Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, got you loud and clear.
Alrighty, man. First and foremost, how you feeling after 125 laps here at Bristol in the street stocks?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I had a solid effort, I think.
Yeah, I would totally agree with you there. Looking at the finishing results, just barely getting beat for the biggest mover, but up 12 positions. That was definitely impressive to see. What do you think was the magic here tonight to get that done?
Yeah, well, I unfortunately lost talent in qualifying and wrecked on my fast lap, so that didn't start out the race very well. And then I knew it was going to be a tire thing, so I saved a little bit, saved a lot actually. But I made a change to my steering ratio there before the race started because I was worried about burning the right rear up the way it felt. And I ended up burning the right front up. So I think I went maybe 15, 20 laps too early, but at the same time, if I would have waited any longer, I probably would have let those guys get by me anyway. So all in all, the strategy worked out for me. And anytime you get an interview after a race, it usually means you did a pretty decent job, you know?
Yeah, that you definitely did here tonight, Anthony. And yeah, I was wondering what happened in qualifying because to see your name not in the invert, I said, "Oh man, something big must have happened."
Yeah, no, I just lost some talent in the middle of 3 and 4 on my second lap, and got in the wall, so that didn't count it. But uh, yeah, I'm not very good at saving tires. Everything I've ever done on this game, I mean, yeah, save tires a little bit, but this track with these cars, I mean, I don't think I went hard until like 45 or 50 to go, and still, I just looked at my tires, and I think my right front was at like 45. So it's definitely tricky, and it adds a little bit of an element. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it definitely matters a lot on how you take care of these tires here, and that definitely the case here tonight at Bristol was such a fast-paced, high-speed track, and with that pace too, I mean, you and Ron kind of started getting the top side rolling. Was that kind of in the game plan in the notebook, or was that kind of searching on around and saying, "Hey, we got some speed up here. Let's go take it while we have the advantage with it"?
Yeah, originally I didn't think the outside would come in, but those guys in front of us there were racing for the bottom, and they checked up enough to where I could get out there. And then honestly, with the right front tire kind of wearing out, it kind of helped me keep my momentum up. When I tried to run the bottom, I just could not get off the corner very well. So yeah, it was kind of like an audible mid race to where I just realized that that was my best shot of having a solid finish. So I went up there and it worked good.
Yeah, and solid finishes you have been having, Anthony. I mean, last week at Irwindale, runner up. Here tonight at Bristol, another runner up. So, how are you feeling about the momentum as well as going into kind of a wild card race, the big Las Vegas next week?
Yeah, like you said, wild card. I mean, one of those deals where you could be gone in the first 5 laps if you're in the wrong spot when some chaos happens. So I feel good. Like I said, I've been getting solid finishes and learning. Like I said, this is my first full year running with these guys, so learning everyone that I'm racing with and learning how to race each other because everyone races each other a little different. So hopefully, when we get there next week, everyone will play nice for a while and we could all make it towards the end and then race for it there.
Yeah, hopefully. And yeah, like you said, Anthony, first time full time racing this season with ASRC. I got to ask you, besides your teammates, who's your most, I guess, your favorite person to race around so far with the guys you've raced around?
Yeah, it seems like me and Ron always wind up racing each other pretty hard. We've had a couple bumps and tangles, but I respect him and he gives me room. I try to give him room. And like tonight, we had a really solid battle there side by side for 10 laps. It felt like, I don't know how many laps it was, but it felt 10 or 15 laps. Never touched. And yeah, I enjoy racing him for sure.
Yeah, you two seem like you guys always find each other on a racetrack. And every time you guys do, like you said, Anthony, you guys put on a great race.
Yeah, and then that goes both ways, right? I wouldn't be able to do that if he didn't have the respect that he gives me, and I try to give it back. I mean, obviously, we're racing hard, so there's going to be instances where we do make contact, and one of us is probably going to get upset. But for the majority of the time I've raced him, we've had really good battles and really clean battles.
Yeah, awesome stuff there. Well, Anthony, before we let you go and celebrate a 2 weeks in a row runner up finish, we're of course going to hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone on the broadcast here.
Yeah, like I always say, you for doing the broadcast, it's pretty awesome, and Tanner for doing the race control, the league for putting this on for us, and Zach Coyer, he's the one that got me into this league and hangs out with me in the chat room here while we're doing our thing, and like I said, every time my old lady upstairs who takes care of the boys for me while I'm down here playing my game and taking care of those guys and making sure they're all in bed and all that. So um, just that's who I'd like to thank.
Awesome stuff. Well, congrats, Anthony, here tonight for the P number two. And yeah, we'll see you next week at Las Vegas. That should be an interesting one for sure.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Alrighty, folks. That was our runner up finisher, the 9 car of Anthony Danta. Now we'll head down to Victory Lane and talk to the man of the hour. It is the 51 of Ron Hart. Ron, do you got a copy? It's Brett Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, Brett, I got you.
Alrighty, man. First and foremost, how we feeling after 125 laps here at Bristol?
Feeling good, man. It was good to put a good old whipping on the boys for once. Feel like I've lucked into a few wins lately, and it was finally felt good to just put a whipping on them.
Yeah, and that you did, and it seemed like, man, you had the strategy nailed on down. Did it work out pretty much exactly what you thought it would here tonight?
Yeah, it's just always a crapshoot, these things. And sometimes you get it right and sometimes you get it wrong. And you start off the race, you about get lapped, and it's you look at it like, damn, are we doing this right? But you just know them guys up front are going too hard and got to be tearing up their stuff to do it. And you just kind of got to guess at what lap it is to go. And our lap was lap 60. We're going to go tonight. And that's when we started to go and kind of picked up the pace a little bit at a time. And then once we got to the top five, it was just hammer down and get to the lead. And once we had that clean air, it was able to just drive away.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I was very impressed. I didn't think it would be that strong, but when you jumped up to that top side, man, that 51 looked like a rocket ship. Were you expecting that top side to be that good?
I don't race Bristol, but once a year. I mean, I remember it when all we had to all rip the top the whole time. So I jumped up there and kind of hoped it was good, and think I caught a couple of them by surprise. Getting to their right rear and being able to make a couple easy passes. I think that really helped saving the right front. Got a kick out of it at the beginning. I was telling Chuck all the 900 numbers are up there ripping, going to the front. Think they're really doing something, and they fell back quick. So had to show those new guys how it's done here at ASRC. Got to save a little tire to be there at the end of these things. So was worked out good, and the top line was fun. At the right time, you couldn't just be up there the whole race ripping because you would just burn your stuff up.
Yeah, and that definitely was the case. And Ron, you put a whooping, like you said, on them here tonight. Definitely, you were the car to beat the second half of the race and walking away with the win. Man, that was awesome to see. And, we chatted with our second place driver a little bit, Anthony Danta. He said you're probably the favorite guy he likes to race around these days in the street stock. So, how do you feel to be on the other side of that?
Yeah, it was fun, man. And we had our battles right, and we both had some contact at Stafford there, got the win. He gave me a bumper, I gave him a bumper back, and we had a good race there and chatted about it afterwards. And that's kind of short track racing. Same thing in here tonight, right? We battled hard for 10, 15 laps side by side, made a little contact and just raced hard. So it was fun. Enjoy racing with all the guys that run in real life, right? They have a little different level of respect, I think, than some of the guys you get on here who just play this video game and take it as a video game, and don't have that real life racing etiquette. So I enjoy racing guys like Anthony, Zach, and the guys that race in real life. You can just tell that they have the experience of how to do it and the right and wrong way to, just kind of have the etiquette on track, if you will.
Yeah, that's definitely the case here. And I like to say, in real life, you can kind of lean on each other. At least the street stocks are getting better with that. But you almost needed like the sim racer quarter car bubble around it. And like you said, I think the real life guys treat it like it's their real car, take a little bit more patience instead of just, giving someone the door right the first time they get to them. It's like, man, that's not really, racing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're too expensive to fix in real life if you do that. But just a quick look at the results. I think 10 of the 24 guys, at least that I know, and I'm sure there's more, have real life racing experience. So that's what's cool about ASRC and makes it good. You're out here running with half the field, if you will, that race on weekends in real life. So you can learn a lot from it and, do it the right way. And it makes for some really, really good racing as well.
Yeah, that it does. And with a great finish here tonight, Ron, and Zach Nichols having a bad one, I think leaving tonight, you guys might be tied for the points lead. How you feeling about that?
I mean, it'd be good, man. We had a rough one a couple weeks ago at Langley. We pulled off early. It kind of hurt our points, but I'm just here for wins. Points are cool and all that, man. I'm more pumped about when you give me my speech and moving up the all-time winners list. That's pretty cool, and I just want to win races. And the points work out great. Usually I miss one or two a season due to work and other obligations with the family. So points are cool if it works out, great. But I'd take 4 wins and no points versus no wins in the points championship anytime.
Yeah, awesome stuff, Ron. Because yeah, I mean you've already climbed the tough mountain. You've already been an ASRC champion. But like you said here tonight, a big time milestone for you. 25 career wins, and now you're definitely on your own island. Third most wins ever in the league. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool, man. We hope they can keep doing it. And it's just the talent level in here is so high. You get guys that come in for the first time and race with us and really learn, that if you can run good in here, you can run good in real life, you can run good in officials, you can run good about anywhere because there's some really, really good drivers in ASRC.
Yeah, that is definitely the case around some of the top talent, as well as pretty beginner friendly too. I mean, it's a steep curve if you have a lot to learn, but overall, like you said, a lot of great talent here. And yeah, we look forwards to next week. We have Las Vegas, but the mile and a halfer, you get to start dead last there, Ron. How you feeling about that challenge?
I mean, if you're gonna pick one to start dead last at, that's probably the one. Um, I don't know. These things are always a crapshoot there. We saw it at the last one, whatever track it was, Nashville, I guess. You just kind of got to get lucky. Anybody can win that one. You're gonna have some guys up front that aren't normally up there, and it's probably gonna be some fireworks going to 3 and 4. Last time it worked out all right. We were fourth or fifth, and the leaders took each other out and ended up second. So just got to be there at the end in those, and it's gonna be a mess, and just hope to survive, kind of like Talladega or Daytona.
Yep, definitely got to go into that race with a super speedway mentality. But once again, Ryan, congrats on career win 25 here tonight at Bristol. Before we let you go, man, I'm sure there's a lot of people you got to thank here, whether sponsors, teammates, and anyone else you like to give a shout out to on the broadcast.
Yeah, shout out to the league. I mean, cool to still see us getting 24 cars, almost to the end of the season or three-quarters of the way through the season. I remember just a few years ago, we weren't getting that many, and 24 good cars. It was really, really good racing. Again, not many cautions, just enough to make it interesting. So hats off to all the admins for putting on a good league and something that's sustainable. And thanks to you to jumping out of the car and doing the broadcast last night and doing it again tonight. Always fun to be able to go back and watch them or have family watch them. I know my parents are watching tonight. So that makes it cool too and gives us something fun to do during the off season. So thanks again.
Yep, awesome stuff, Ron. And thank you for taking your time out of your night to be part of the racing action and that skill level that these drivers got to try and beat, right?
That's what it's all about, man. You want to race with the best if you're going to do it. It's no fun going out there and beating up on guys who are just starting.
Yeah, that is definitely the case. Well, Ron, once again, congrats on the win here tonight. You, my man, have a great rest of your week, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here in the near future.
Sounds good, sir.
Alrighty, folks, that was Ron Hart, the winner here at Bristol, able to conquer the Coliseum and get the job done for career win 25. So let's run through tonight's race results, get you guys out of here at a decent time. But once again, want to thank each and every one of you coming on board and watching the live here, whether live or replay. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. So Ron Hart in the 51 machine will win here tonight, pick up career win 25. Anthony Danta will finish runner-up now 2 weeks in a row in the 9. Caleb Ramsey here will round out the podium. Then look at this, Greggy Long in the 21 machine will finish 4th. Travis Wright, a top 5 involved in that last lap incident, somehow able to get that. Man, what a great run for him. And then first career start for Ryan Hunn. He will finish 6th. Chuck Darling in 7th. TJ Hassan in 8th. Dave Payton 9th. Cody Naylor rounding out the top 10. Finishing in 11th was Jimmy Gowker. 12th going to Dylan Holcomb. John DeMeester 13th. Zach Nichols 14th. Morgan Byard in 15th. Pete Dillon 16th. 17th going to Zach Hoare. Zane Cruz will finish P number 18. 19th going to Kyle Mackey. 20th is Stephen Hoffman. 21st, Ian Martin. 22nd, Devin McDonald. 23rd is Matt Modulewski. And then Calvin Boyce will finish 24th here tonight. So that will do it here tonight for the American Sim Racing Club Street Stock Series for race number 8. Be sure to tune in next week as these guys take on Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It's going to be a wild show, super speedway racing with a street stock. So once again, we got to give a quick shout out to our partners with Turn 3 Racing Network over at Premier Setup Shop. You can check them out with the link in the description. That will take you over to their website. Even if you don't want to buy anything, a click would go a long way and would be greatly appreciated. So that'll do it here tonight from Bristol. So everyone take care, stay safe, have a great rest of your week. And once again, I've been Brett the Jet in with Turn 3 Racing Network, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.